Hey guys, welcome to this week's video where I'll be making the Starfrost skirt. If you're new around here, I have already made the Starfrost shoes and corset if you haven't seen those already. Some people seem to be getting confused, so I am making the whole Starfrost set, the entire thing, everything from the set. The next video should be the cape, so stay tuned for that. To start the skirt off, I bought one of these underskirts to be the base. I then took some newspaper and used that to create templates for the front of the skirt. Whilst I make the templates, do you plan on making anything from Royale High? Let me know in the comments. I wanted to make sure the front of the skirt turned out good, so I edited the templates until I was happy with them. The underskirt was way too long, so I cut the bottom part off. The next part was to cut out the fabric using the templates I had made. For this template, I cut out 2 pieces of fabric. I took some leftover fabric from my parasol to use for the ruffles. I try my best not to waste materials. I added ruffles to the 2 other pieces as well. I then unpinned them and took the ruffles to the sewing machine to attach the black ribbon to the edge. And I did that for all 3 pieces. You'll possibly remember the interfacing from the Starfrost corset video, but if not, interfacing can be ironed on the back of fabric to make it stiffer. With that said, I'm cutting out some interfacing using the templates I'd made. Now I iron all the pieces I've made. After that, I lay the interfacing down on the fabric pieces. I use a piece of scrap fabric on top to protect the iron from the interfacing glue. Now it was time to pin the ruffles back on. This part took me a while, but it was going to look weird if I failed to make it symmetrical. Now here's where my cat comes in. She's never failed to lay all over my projects. She's lucky she's so cute and fluffy. Once everything was pinned, I sewed it all. I then ironed the seams flat. I had pinned the pieces to the underskirt and tried it on with the shoes, so I could get a good idea of the height. I knew the opening at the front was way too low, so I'd have to take the underskirt up. I started off by pinning the underskirt near the top to lift the two upper hoops up. Once it was all pinned, I began to hand sew it. Next was to create the fabric that the bow will sit on. I then took it off the mannequin and ironed it. Then I pinned it back to the other bits of fabric. After that, I removed everything from the mannequin and underskirt and sewn it all together. I decided to sew some tulle to the back of it so it wouldn't take the rough shape of the underskirt hoops. I hand sewn it around the bottom just to keep the tulle in place. And then I cut off the tulle that would have been visible from the outside part of the skirt. Now it was time to make the rest of the skirt. I created the base using the circle skirt method. Just like it states in the name, it's just a giant fabric circle. I cut a hole at the top for my waist. Then I cut down one of the sides. I made the waist a little bit bigger. Now I'm taking a leftover bit of fabric from the Miss Lady Rose skirt to make the bottom of this skirt. And there's a cat there. I sewed those two pieces together. Now, I have to apologise for the huge time skip, but it seems like I'm missing some footage. Basically, I sewed some binding tape around the white part, and now I'm attaching the stars. Again, I'm super sorry for the huge time skip there, but I don't know where those bits of video have gone. They're just not in the storage bit. The files don't exist. I don't know where they've gone. Sorry. But anyway, I am pinning the stars down, ready to sew them. Then I sewed them on. And after that, I ironed the whole thing, and I actually got the ironing board out this time. And more cat. Then I sewed some horsehair braid to the seams between the black and the white fabric at the bottom. You'll notice that the horsehair braid would have added the big nice full pleats that it has now. I took this opportunity to pin the sheer fabric to it. I then sewed that on. I also sewed lace to the sheer fabric to make it look nice and to stop the sheer fabric from fraying. I'm now making a second circle skirt to line the inside of the skirt with. And this is when absolute chaos strikes. I was trying my best to fold the fabric correctly. My cat sensed that the camera had unfocused, so she knew it was her time to shine. I was trying my best to mark the circle out, and then my cat decided that she wanted to be a part of the project too. My little sister was very insistent on getting a Kit Kat whilst I was trying to do my thing. So I just gave up at this point and decided to love the cat whilst I waited for my sister to come back through. She finally moved after sharp pointy things were coming towards her. Then I cut the waist hole. And then I cut down one of the sides. I laid the two skirt pieces on top of each other, making sure that both the good sides were facing together. Then I pinned it, sewed it together. It was a bit of a struggle, but I managed to flip it inside out. I then cut out a smaller circle. Unlike the other one, this has nothing fancy on it, so I'm just hemming it. Then I ironed it. Then I sewed horse braid to the inside part. I pinned the smaller skirt to the mannequin, and then I began adding the sheer fabric to that. I sewed the small skirt and the sheer fabric together, and I also added lace to the bottom of the sheer fabric. After that, I folded the sides in and began to pin them and sewed them together. I put the skirt back on the mannequin and I began to pin the front panel and the rest of the skirt together. I sewed the seams together so this would not be visible from the outside. I didn't sew all the way to the top on one side, just so I had the room for some kind of fastener. As you can see, it goes on like a fairly normal skirt now. I got a long piece of scrap fabric, and this will be a loop thing at the top for some ribbon to go through, and that will be how I fasten the skirt around my waist. If you've seen my Miss Lady Rose skirt explanation video, then you'll know what I'm on about, because that skirt had the same thing. I left this part in because I know you guys like seeing the cat, so there she is. Once I had the skirt on the mannequin, I measured out a bit of ribbon to go around my waist. Then I got a safety pin and put it on one end of the ribbon, and I fed the safety pin through the loop I had made. Once I got the ribbon out of the other side, I decided to try this skirt on. I was satisfied with how it turned out, so let's get on to the bow. Just like the shoes, I decided to needle felt the star. I was live streaming that, which is why my iPad's there. Unfortunately, I'm missing the footage for the first half of the bow making, but here's the two pieces I made, and here's me assembling the bow on live stream. I honestly love how the bow turned out. I rushed it, so I'm really surprised with how it came out. The last thing was to sew it onto the skirt. Now, I was teasing the live stream chat because they hadn't seen the skirt yet. It was quite entertaining for me. I had the skirt just out of frame, so they could only see the bow. And now for the big reveal. There is the finished skirt. I honestly love how it turned out. It looks so good when you spin it. The only problem is I'll probably add snap fasteners there, well, where I had just picked the skirt up, because that happens. But that's a thing that I can add on very easily. I don't really need to add me hand sewing snap fasteners on in the video. But anyway, let me know what you think of it. I think it looks really pretty when I spin in it, and it feels really fun to spin in as well, and just prance around in. Of course, every time I spun it kind of messed the skirt up, so I will have to add snap fasteners to hold it in place. Also, next week's video should be the Starfrost cape. Now, please bear with me. I have no idea how I'm going to make the cape, but I will try. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, anything to help me out. Maybe join my Roblox group. You can find my group from my profile. I'm also very active on Twitter. These are my Instagram accounts. I have one for cosplay and one for art. I also have a TikTok account, but if it is banned in your country or you just don't have the app, I upload my TikToks to the Instagram Reels feature on my cosplay account. Anyway, thank you for watching and goodbye.